What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV after the Packers' dramatic victory over the Chicago Bears, 20-19 at Soldier Field. And look, respect to Matt Eberflus and the Bears. They absolutely brought their A game today. We talked about it on Daily all week. This is a talented team in Chicago. Certainly has had their share of problems as of late, but they gave the Packers their best shot. And no doubt, looked a little dicey there right up until the end when Carl Brooks put up his big mitt and blocked that kick, preserving the win. And an 11-game winning streak is now the Packers to possess, the longest in the history of this storied rivalry. Pretty damn impressive. Great stuff. Obviously, some disheartening moments for the green and gold. Certainly, the Bears were able to move the ball pretty regularly. Now, it's not like they were pushing the ball downfield. It's not like they were gobbling up tons of yards and points, but they certainly stayed ahead of the sticks for most of the afternoon, which caused the Packers a lot of problems on third down. Bears were able to operate in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, rather than 3rd and 9 or 12 or something like that, where they could really kind of pin their ears back. But to that end, I want to say, shout out to the pass rush. Certainly started to come alive a little bit there at the end, both with TJ Slayton and Rashawn Gary. Back-to-back sacks, which looked like they were going all for naught after the Bears completed and absolutely sucked the life out of the Packers there by converting on a 3rd and 19 to make it a 4th and short, and then converting on 4th down to get into position to attempt the field goal, which again, Carl Brooks put an end to. On the flip side, on the offensive side for the Packers, I really thought this was a very good game from Jordan Love outside of one throw that got away from him. Obviously, the interception will be talked about a lot. He makes the right read, makes the right decision there. Ball just sails on him. It's tough. You don't want to see it. You certainly can't live with it, but it happened, and the Packers bounced back. I thought they did a great job making sure that they stuck with the running game. Jacobs was another beast of a game from Jacobs on 18 carries for 76 yards. Jordan Love getting in on the action, carrying there at the goal line. I thought he got in on that first kind of diving attempt, but I love a game where the Packers can win, where Jordan Love only throws the ball 17 times. That is what I am talking about. This is some nice efficiency. 13 of 17 on the day for Love, 261 yards, 1 touchdown, and the interception, a rating of 113 on the afternoon. That'll get it done. Jacobs, like we said, 76 yards, averaging 4.2 yards per carry, also got in the end zone. And then, I mean, you can't talk about the offensive output today and not mention Christian Watson and the job he did. His 4 targets, 4 receptions, 150 yards, 60 of that came on one play. Just great stuff from Watson. You talk about a guy who just stays patient, doesn't bellyache, does the dirty work when asked, certainly showed up for his quarterback today a couple of times. There's no doubt Watson is a consummate professional. You love to see him get rewarded the way he was this afternoon. No question about it. And, ultimately, all that really matters is that the Bears still suck. Hello to everybody in the comments. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody. Michael starting us off with the super chat. What's up, man? I was at the block field goal game in 1999. Let me tell you, it's more fun being on this side of a block kick. I don't doubt it, Michael. Andrew, how are you, buddy? Hope Green Bay is treating you well. Shout out to Watson and shout out to the retired players. Go Pack Go. Absolutely, Andrew. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to Watch Party today. We raised over $1,000 for the Pro Football Retired Players Association. Cannot tell you how much we here at Cheesehead TV appreciate the support of a group that does incredible work for players that absolutely need the help and sometimes, find it wanting when asking the league or the Players Association. So what we're here to help. Soder, how you doing, buddy? Is Rich worth the money now? Maybe earn 3-4. I mean, hey, Rich Bisaccia, long the scourge of the internet. Packers fans talking about what does he do, time to move on, etc. Well, Matt LaFleur at the podium just now mentioned that prior to the game last night with the team meeting, Bisaccia mentioned we should come out of this game with at least 1 block kick, either a field goal or an extra point. And lo and behold, the final play of the game, it occurred. Chad, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for your support during the watch party. Appreciate you, man. Is the Quay Walker experience over? And for the love of God, why go for it on 4th down in the red zone when you're up when you're 29th and your opponent is number 1 in the red zone, that could have been a fatal mistake. I mean, I would have kicked the field goal, but I'm not your coach. Matt LaFleur is, and he mentioned that the possessions were at a premium in this game, which is true. And he felt he needed to press the issue there. He wasn't sure when they get the ball back, so he wanted to go for it. I understand that mentality. I understand that thinking. Again, it's not how I would operate, but I ain't the head coach. And also, thank your lucky stars that I'm not. As far as the Quay Walker experience being over, no, it's not. He's still better than much of what they have on offer. I don't understand how people don't recognize this. I get he's frustrating. There's no doubt there's times he's overmatched, but he is far from the major issue on defense, especially today. Jason, thanks for the super chat, man. During the draft, Oz the Mentalist predicted Packers 34, Niners 27, called it the game of the year. Oh, who am I to doubt Oz the Mentalist? Nathan, thanks for the super chat, man. I think it's time to sit Quay. Did you see Pep Talk? X literally walked away shaking his head in disgust. Yeah, but he's not shaking it at Quay. You guys just try and gin up narratives and controversies where there are absolutely none. Y'all need to stop with that. That is literally all in your imagination. He's disgusted, but not at Quay. He's mad about their play on the field, as is understandable. Peter, thanks for the super chat, man. Aaron, nice to finally catch a live one. Loved how much JJ carried the ball with a chip all game. And in an ever-changing world, it's a nice reminder that some things never change. The Bears still suck. Peter, good to see you again, buddy. Hope life is good across the pond. Peter, thanks for the super chat. The Bears' offense looked completely different. Am I wrong? No, you're not. I thought they did an excellent job, especially early in the first half of, basically trying to operate a paper cut offense, meaning just trying to chop off like 4-5 yards at a time rather than asking Caleb Williams to push the ball down the field. Certainly wasn't a lot of vertical stuff between the running game, which I thought they did an excellent job with, especially out of the I formation, getting on the edge. Their offensive line, you could tell their starting tackles were back. Like that certainly made a difference today. And when they did take to the air, it wasn't with the idea of we're going to take big chunk plays. They kept, ahead of the sticks, something we talked about all week. And they certainly did a great job of maintaining third and manageables, which, I think at the end of the game, there were 7 of 14 or something, like 7 of 12, somewhere around there. I should be able to look at it right here. By the end of the game, where were they? Team third down. They were 9 of 16 to end the game. That's 56%, which I believe is over their year average. But man, they were doing a great job of not trying to push it, keeping things relatively not simple, but relatively easy for their rookie quarterback, which is something you would have expected them to do for much of this season. But they did really nice work. And again, yes, to your point, it was very different from what they've been asking him to do. And you still saw a glimpse or two of, he had a couple throws that were off, a couple plays where he seemed to miss the initial read. But overall, that's a Bears offense that could cause some problems. She said, Joey, what's going on, man? I told you Rich Bisaccia was worth the money. Well, I'm not sure I'm buying that one, Joey, but if you say so. Nathan, thanks again, man. A win is a win. Maybe it's the galvanizing moment. Why are you using the parlance of an old quarterback, sir? This is a new team with a different quarterback. We don't need no galvanizing moments. And a win is a win. I'm glad you brought that up. I've already seen it online. Hell, I saw it on Twitter and Blue Sky, which is kind of funny. And thanks to everyone who's chiming in from Blue Sky. I appreciate you. It's so funny how lucky is already being thrown around. A win is indeed a win. And it's interesting to watch the Chiefs do it in a very similar manner. But when they do it, oh, they're great. They're one of the greatest teams of all time. A totally complete team. A hair of your, a whisker away from being a loss against a division rival that they turn into a victory by a block kick at the end. Packers do the same thing, and they're lucky. It's just interesting how that works. Professor, Bears still suck. Here endeth the lesson. Well stated. Ed, how are you, man? Never any doubt. Total domination in the W column. Love throwing that swing pass out of bounds in the first was a great decision. I thought, for the most part, on balance on the afternoon, Jordan Love had a ton of really good decisions. People will harp on the interception. I understand why. But man, how many plays did we see where he smartly tucked it, ran, broke contain, and made throws that were not contestable? Either his guy was going to get it or no one was going to get it, or he tucked it and ran with a purpose. I thought he did a great job, especially there. Obviously, a very disappointing outcome not to get in the end zone. The sequence where they don't get it on third and then go for it on fourth and don't get it in. But I thought he did a nice job of not pushing it, not trying to make something happen that wasn't there. It's progress in my eyes for a quarterback who has struggled with some of his decision making. I really liked what we saw from Jordan in that regard today. Joe, thanks for the super chat, man. Second time this year, Packers will a walk-off win due to special teams. Must be dreaming. Hey, man. Ball don't lie. Ball does not lie. Mike, thanks for the super chat, man. 4 receptions from Watson doesn't do his game justice. All 4 were impact plays. 1,000,000,000%, Mike. The man is just patient and a professional, and when called upon, he delivers. Now, I understand people will bitch about, oh, he lost a ball in 30-mile-per-hour winds in Lambeau. Like, look, there's circumstance. There's context there. Not that anyone wants any of that. But that was Christian Watson today, the guy that can be a game changer when you ask him to be, which they did. Just great stuff from Christian. Godsmack, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. A couple years ago, I never thought I'd say Christian Watson has some of the best hands on the team, but here we are. His improvement is undeniable. I mean, the initial big one where Love breaks contain and throws it up, that's the one time I was like, Jordan, what are we doing here, buddy? But man, he trusted Christian to make a play, and Christian absolutely made a play for his quarterback, which is what you love to see. Boomer Fitness, how are you, man? Nags, I have the song on repeat. The Bears still suck. Polls, how's that domination of the Packers going? Ooh, King Polls. I mean, honestly, I know Bears fans are going to hate this, but I got to think deep down they feel somewhat hopeful about Caleb Williams after this game. Now, I don't think they feel hopeful about Eberflus or their prospects even for this season, but you saw how you can move the ball and score points with Caleb Williams today. There's zero doubt about that. Klaus, what's going on, man? You must be late where you are. We're the only 7-3 team sitting at number 3 in the division. We'd be number 1 in 3 divisions. It's true, but man, that ain't how the NFL is set up. You got to play by the rules. And right now, Packers' losses to the Lions and Vikings still stinging. Now, none of that means much on November 17th. It matters a whole hell of a lot more end of December, early January. One step forward. That's what they took today. Abdul, this is a very wide open question. Hey, Aaron, how was the D? Made Williams look good. The defense didn't make Williams look good. They played well. How many times do I have to tell you guys? They get paid too. Do not go, oh, but he played poorly against XYZ because A, number one, totally different coordinator, offensive game plan, etc. B, both starting offensive tackles being back in the lineup certainly helps. Now, were there moments where the Packers defense got taken advantage of? Certainly. No question about it. Whether it was Keyshawn Nixon on the right sideline there at the end, whether it's Bullard getting beat on an out route, moments where, yeah, they won. But they played well. It wasn't like, oh, the Packers just were a sieve the whole time. What drives me insane is like we're getting down to the end of the first half and the whole chat is just bitching about the defense. The Bears had scored 3 points. You know, the Bears scored 19 points today. That's not a great day at the office, but that's a defensive output that you can win with, which the Packers did. Charlie, thanks for the super chat, man. Living behind enemy lines in Chicago, I don't care if it's pretty or ugly. I'll take the win every damn time. Charlie, I remember those days. I lived in Chicago right out of high school. Could not agree more. Soak it in. This is the greatest week to live in Chicago as a Bears fan, as a Packers fan. No question about it. Jeff, thanks for the super chat, man. McKinney was mad at himself. He missed tackles on the Swift TD run. Did anyone see Quay break up a pass 30 yards down the field? And boy, can Williams spin it. he can, no doubt about it. And I'm glad you brought up the Quay coverage that everyone, Quay is terrible, so that play doesn't count, obviously, Jeff. And yes, Jeff, you are absolutely correct. McKinney was pissed that he got faked out by DeAndre Swift on that long touchdown run. But, people will create narratives and make up stuff because they need to confirm their priors more than root for their favorite team, supposed favorite team, because all they do is bitch about it. It's funny how that works. Mike Witt, how are you, man? Very happy we won. When it was 3rd and 19, I said to my dad, here comes number 7 for X-Pop. Boy, was I wrong. 23 was really missed today. Yeah, the Jair thing was weird. I mean, it seemed pretty apparent. He had the pregame workout, and then he starts and he goes, but then he's in and out, and then he's out. It's like, if it's that precarious, why is he playing? I understand it's frustrating not having him out there, but boy, just to have to juggle mid-game, we've seen how they've struggled with that, and that certainly seemed to rear its head again this afternoon. Ed, what's up, man? Hard to gloat after this one, but not impossible. In fact, Chicago Bear fans are not looking forward to seeing me next week. Oh, Ed, it's real easy to gloat over this one. Again, I say, the Chiefs beat a division rival with a block kick at the end. Packers do the exact same thing. I'm saying it's great. It's a great day to be the Green Bay Packers and their fan base, because the Bears still suck. See, that was real easy. Porkmaster, how are you, man? There was a lot more positives than my emotions are letting me feel. 0-3 in the division would have been awful. Dodged a big bullet. Porkmaster, I ain't going to lie. I had that thought on the final drive when they converted after the 3rd and 19 to make it 4th and short and then convert on the 4th down. I thought exactly that. Oh boy, going down 0-3 in the division. That's a tough look. That's a tough way to live back half of the year, having to climb out of that hole. But thankfully, Carl Brooks arrived just in time. Jacob, thanks for the super chat, man. National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning across the coast of Lake Michigan due to the influx of Bears tears. It's not bad, Jacob. That's well done. That's painting a picture with words. I like it. Abdul, thanks again, man. Did we use both of our IR spots that can come back? No, sir. That's no longer the rule. You can use up to 8. During the pandemic and coming out of it, you could have unlimited. It used to be you could only use 2, and then the pandemic happened and it was unlimited. But now you can bring up to 8, and it's up to 10 if you get into the playoffs. Right now, they have only used 1. That was on Jonathan Ford. I suspect this question is probably about Marshawn Lloyd or maybe Luke Musgrave. They can bring back up to 7 more guys throughout the season. Now, you have to sit out the 4 weeks, which obviously Musgrave has, but with their opening the window on Marshawn Lloyd and then him having appendicitis, Matt did indicate they're going to talk to the league about some kind of resolution here that I would suspect would probably go. He'll probably go on some kind of, not commissioner's list, but some kind of exemption list where, once he is able to get back on the practice field, they'll restart the 21-day window. Although we'll see. That's just me guessing. She said, Joey, what's up, man? Shout out to Josh Jacobs, man. He's a legit bell cow. Yes, he is. And it's crazy because, you can keep handing him the football and he does not stop. Now, every once in a while, you saw his hand get dinged up. Like there are times he'll need a down or 2 out, but it ain't like we're watching him disappear for 2 or 3 drives at a time. This guy wants the ball. He wants to be on the field, and he is an absolute terminator throughout the game. We love it. Oh, Portmaster. I am praying LVN does anything at some point. Can we just talk about Brenton Cox Jr.? Tackle for loss, big sack. I hear you, though. Yeah, it's hey, man, I said it all week. It's hard to watch. There's just not a lot there. There's no power. There's certainly no moves or counter moves. No ability to get around the edge. It's tough look from the Packers' first-round pick last year. Soder, thanks to the super chat, man. Packers look to have gotten out of the divisional game with a win and no major injuries. Need to be much better next week because I am sick of the 49ers. Well, here we go. Yes, they do need to be much better, but I will say, look like progress to me on a number of fronts. Now, I know Romeo Doubs had a bad drop, but outside of that, looked like the drops did not make an appearance. Pre-snap penalties certainly didn't seem to come along in any kind of meaningful way. I know they got called in an offside, but I think that was bullshit. The offensive guard was rocking backwards. But yeah, for the most part, they seem to have cleaned that up. Good step. Step in the right direction. Absolutely need to be more efficient against the 49ers, no question, but a step in the right direction. Godsmack, what's up, man? I hate having to tip my cap to the Bears, but they took it to the Packers. Every time the Packers got in the red zone, I had the circus music blasting in the background. Still, never apologize for a win. I mean, you could really see why they are the number one rated red zone defense, right? No question about it. That's what made Josh Jacobs bursting through the line for that touchdown so satisfying. But yeah, they're good. They're really good on defense. They got a lot of talent. They're really well coached. They are legit on the defensive side of the ball. Now, still trying to figure it out on offense, but I thought, again, as someone said earlier, they looked a lot better and a lot different today. But yeah, man, they are very good on that side of the ball, especially in the red zone. Said Joey, undefeated against Simone Biles. I mean, put it in the book. I'm going to add that to the media guide here. Put that Simone Biles asterisk undefeated. Like it. I'm in it. Stefan, thanks for the super chat, man. Fun win for the last game I could watch live until 12:29. We Europeans had a great run so far with the noon games. Oh, I see. Because they're all going to be so late. Well, buddy, I'm glad the Packers could pull it out for you at the end. Come on, what's sleep? You're going to get old and you're going to be like, man, I wish I'd stayed up for some more Packers games. Do it, man. You won't regret it. Elliot, thanks for the super chat, man. A win's a win, but I feel the Bears finally have a QB. Had to respect Williams' resolve and effort today. Go, Pack, go. Oh, yeah, you could see. He's talented. No question about it. Now, he had been put in some bad spots up until today, but really looked like a much more efficient Bears offense. And he did a good job pulling the trigger. No doubt about it. Quinn. Joe Barry back as DC. Quinn, if Joe Barry was still the DC, the Bears would have scored like 31 points. Absolutely not. Soder, thanks for the super chat. And sometimes it is better to be lucky than good, as the saying goes. No question. Braden, thank you for the super chat. Shirtless Snags next week at Lot 1, since you said Watson would have a good game. And hey, where's Natalie at? Hey, Natalie was in the chat during the game. Hey, she shows up. Shout out to Natalie, because no matter what happens, if the defense plays well, she's there to take her lumps. But when they play poorly, she makes sure we're aware. And she was very reserved, I thought, today in her comments on the defense. Shout out, Natalie. I don't know about Shirtless Snags in Lot 1. I mean, we'll see. Philberto, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Mike Witt, thanks to the super chat, man. Honest question, what happened to our red zone offense? Hasn't been in my opinion, since 12 left town. Just weird. The same, I think, is what you mean. Mike, it's an excellent question. And if I had a answer for you, I would 100% text Matt LaFleur. But right now, everything seems to be a struggle. And what's crazy to me is that they don't seem to ever try to manufacture easy touches for the running backs in the passing game the way they used to. Like, burn the Jaden Reed end arounds and handoffs. Burn them. Burn every one of those in the playbook, to my eyes. I thought Matt did an okay job today sticking with the running game when he was down there, because that's, been something of a problem up to this point. Did a decent job there, but when it comes to trying to throw the ball, and I think he tried this on the play where, Jordan Love threw the interception. That's designed to get to Tucker Kraft. He's supposed to turn upfield and get as much as he can to provide a fourth and hopefully shorter goal-to-go situation. But I just think, talk about 2020, that, they were amazing in the red zone. A lot of those throws and plays were just somewhat easy throws to a running back in the flat or tight ends kind of on a crossing route. It just seems like, I don't know, they're trying to feature the wide receivers and there's just nothing there more often than not, especially today. Jonathan, that is an excellent point, man. Chris Brooks gets little credit. Shout out to him. He had a great run today, and he is fucking outstanding in pass protection. Holy cow. There is not a play where the opponent will send pressure, usually up the middle with a backer or sometimes a safety. This kid gets his nose in there and absolutely stonewalls whoever is coming after his quarterback. Absolute shout out to Chris Brooks. Could not agree more. Chad, what's up, man? How will the Eeyores react when we dominate the Niners next week? Man, I don't care. Right now, I'm going to soak in, marinate in this victory. I have so many Bears friends that I need to call tonight. Oh, so good. Portmaster, how are you, man? Oh, and F these refs. 15 yards gifted because Williams tripped over his own damn feet. LVN called off sides when the O-line moved, and the running back took a whole step and froze with no call. Atrocious BS. Oh, that last one, because it was on the final drive, drove me insane. You just gifted them an opportunity to go win the game. And yeah, the Williams love tap by McKinney was absolute farce. No question about it. Vegas gamer, oh no. Bears fan here. I'm going to fall asleep in the bathtub. Okay, just make it a shallow one, man, and just chill. You got a quarterback. You got a quarterback. I don't know what the future holds for Williams in his time in Chicago, but you got a quarterback. Like, that's the start. And I mean, you also have a defense. So you got to get Eberflus out of there. You got to start over on offense, but you've got a quarterback. Abdul, what's up, man? How did Valentine look? Our cornerbacks are rough to watch. I think you just described how he looked. Yeah, he had a tough go of it at times. I thought he played okay. They certainly were targeting him, especially as the game went along. But here's what I will say. I would much rather have, and I talked about this on Daily, so I'm sure you're going to know what I'm about to say. I'd much rather have Valentine out there taking his lumps in his second year rather than Eric Stokes, who we know what he is, and it's not much. And it's probably done for Eric Stokes. You know, I want Valentine to get the experience of, and this was a very particular play there late in the second half where they needed 2 yards and he's playing man coverage and he's playing bail technique. Like his wide receiver is going to fly up the field. Instead, of course, he basically gets past the sticks, turns around, and, you know, Valentine reacts to it, makes the tackle, but it's a first down. Well, these little things like that where, you know, I want him on the field for that kind of experience so that the next time that situation comes up, hopefully, maybe he is able to make a play on that ball. It was not a good day at the office for Valentine, but I'm hoping, yes, again, hoping there's development to be had there. You know, I'd much rather watch that and the potential kind of maybe hopefully getting unlocked live, real time in front of our eyes than watching Eric Stokes get beat again and again and again and knowing that's all he's ever going to do. Filberto, what's up? Are we excusing LaFleur for his bad decisions? Well, it depends on who's calling them bad. And what is your reasoning for saying so? I did not agree with the decision to go for it on fourth down. He, at the podium afterwards, said he thought the possessions were at a premium and he wanted to try and get points there. And knowing if all else failed, worst case scenario, they've got a long field to go try and drive. And hopefully you can get a stop, get the ball back, etc. That's not how I would go if I was the head coach. But again, you guys are really lucky that I'm not. But also, are we excusing LaFleur for his bad decisions? It's a decision I don't agree with. Is that me making excuses for him? I don't know what you want me to do. I mean, I do know we got in the chat someone. I'm not saying you're saying this, Filberto, but holding people to account. Like anything we say on the internet matters at all when it comes to Matt LaFleur, his job, and what he's doing. Man, I didn't agree with the decision, but they won the game, and he's the head coach, and he gets the credit for the win. Because here's the other thing. He made lots of other decisions that helped lead to a victory. Jeff Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it, buddy. 7-3. The Bears still suck. Money for PFRPA. I'll take it. Time to pour me 3 fingers. Oh, damn. That is an outstanding idea. I think I'll join you there. IC6071. It's like having C3PO in the chat. Love and Watson equals Rodgers and Adams? Well, okay. Let's slow down. I think they can make big-time plays. They can certainly be productive. But I don't know, man. Rodgers and Adams was on another level. Roberto, thanks again, man. What a dumb challenge, and why no field goal? Well, I think I've answered this one already. The challenge was emotional, I think. No question about it. And I do think even, like, going for it was just somewhat maybe emotionally driven, though I do buy it when he says, at the worst-case scenario, they've got 90 yards to go. And you would hope your defense can get off the field in 90 yards. So are we just going to forgive LaFleur for terrible red zone percentages, wasting a timeout on a dumb challenge, and once again not taking points? Coming off the bye, this was an all-time bad coaching job. Okay, you have made this point several times, and I've said what I'm going to say about it. You can be mad, and hopefully you come back next week and they have a perfect game. But let me tell you, Berto, you know who made all these types of decisions when they were 5-6 years into their coaching tenure? Andy Reid. Go back and watch. Go search Andy Reid clock management on Twitter. I dare you. You're going to see people, whether it was Eagles fans or even Chiefs fans early in his tenure, burning the place to the ground because he was awful. He needed to go. He needed to get fired. Coaches, they're just like us, man. They're fallible. They make mistakes. As you point out, Matt made plenty today, but he also did a lot to help them win. They didn't just happen to score 20 points. They didn't just happen to go out there and run plays that, nobody made up. They just kind of materialized out of thin air. I understand the game day decisions get under the microscope and people get upset about it, but man, there's a whole hell of a lot more that goes into games, winning and losing, than just, he went for it on fourth down. And I beg you to remember that. Nick, what's up, man? Haven't seen you a happy hour in forever. How you doing? Scary to still see poor run D and third and long containment, but damn, what a fun walk-off win. W is a W. Go, Pack, go, baby. Yeah, I didn't hate the third down containment, quote unquote, stuff. I know Corey was talking about that a lot on the live stream because a lot of that's just Caleb Williams making a play with his legs, right? And there were times when they were playing man coverage and didn't have a spy on the quarterback, and he's able to break contain, get outside the pocket, even though the rush lanes were pretty decent. He just drops a little bit and goes outside, and he's a very talented guy. He made plays, and I thought the Packers did a better job in the second half. They certainly did there at the very final drive, even though they converted on that fourth down. But, they get those back-to-back sacks with a much more disciplined rush. A great job clogging that middle by TJ Slayton. I thought early, definitely, it was a problem. But I thought as the game went on, they did a better job in that regard. Elliot, thank you for the super chat, man. My wife got me working home improvement projects all weekend. Can you please tell her I need a break so I can enjoy more Sunday football? Elliot, this is on you, buddy. I hate to say it. I got no pull here. What is Theoden say when he's basically possessed by Saruman? You have no power here. I have no power here. There's nothing I can do. What your mistake was, you're talking about coaching mistakes. Your mistake, sir, was not setting expectations right away. Probably back when you were courting her. Like, my girlfriend and I moved in together now a little over 2 months ago. And the lead up to that move in was I play a lot of Madden and Sundays I am busy. I'm setting the expectation. That's on you, man. Sometimes you got to own it. Drew, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Jair starting to become a problem. Love you, Nags. I wouldn't call it a problem. I'd say it's certainly disappointing that he can't make it through the game today after the workout and being out there for the start of it. But, man, they're trying to – the other flip side of it is that no one really ever mentions is trying to make sure that they can have him long-term. And hopefully he is out there more regularly. But it is frustrating. There is zero doubt about that. I absolutely agree there. Nathan, what's up, man? J-Lo bounced back big time. He's so fun to watch. I'm glad you said that because, man, people, even after the game, people are just down on him on Twitter and in some in the chats. It's like, man, he played a good game. I thought he played a really good game. You hate the interception. The ball definitely sailed on him. Certainly needs to probably take a little bit off of it. But overall, he played really well today. Absolutely a step in the right direction. Fading West, what's up, man? I know it's a divisional game, but the Bears are not very good. They've been a dumpster fire since the Hail Mary. Shouldn't have been that close. Totally disagree, Fading West. You certainly haven't been watching Packers Daily because they are insanely talented. They have a ton of pass-catching talent, and they are incredibly talented on the defensive side of the ball, as well as really well coached. They should have been 5-2 after the Hail Mary game. I understand. It's the transitive property is non-existent in the NFL. Just because they look one way against another team, i.e. the Patriots. Oh, you mean without their starting tackles and they took a bunch of sacks with a different play caller? Man, it is a 1-week league. win this week. The Packers did that. They're 1-0. Go Pack, go. Porkmaster, what's up? Ever since I started holding the players accountable, they really started turning their play around. They were tough conversations, but worth it. Well, now we know who to thank. I love you, Porkmaster. Steve Anthony, what's going on, man? Cheers, guys. Got my dad out of the hospital on Friday. We had carry the G and near heart attacks, but are thrilled with the Bears' loss. Well, shout out to your dad. I'm glad he's out of the hospital. Thank you for drinking carry the G. And yes, the Bears still suck. Absolutely love it. All right, buddy. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers, win or lose, because that's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Make sure you are on the lookout for the good, the bad, and the ugly here on the channel. I'll have that out a little later this evening. And then please hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.